Hey, cheers, man.
Cheers.
Ugh.
Welcome to the Yancey Street Speakeasy, episode number 3.
Or 2.5, or whatever, however we're doing this.
I'm Max.
And I'm Tracey.
And we're going to talk about stuff while we drink bourbon tonight.
It's wonderful to see you guys again. You in front, particularly, look very nice. That blouse is becoming of you.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming out to our live show tonight. And
yeah, speaking of live, I just found out today that my parents got some tickets to go see Dave Matthews Band live in Darien Lake a little bit later in
good old Darien Lake. That's like my hometown.
Yeah, dude. I remember going to the Six Flags there all the time.
You did?
Yeah, I went there a bunch. Is that the one that has the Superman?
Yes.
The roller coaster.
The Man of Steel.
That freaking roller coaster. That was one. I love roller coasters. They're one of my greatest joys in life, and I just remember that was the first one that literally took my breath away, and that first drop was straight. It was straight towards the ground, and I thought I was gonna die.
It's a good one. I remember very strongly regretting getting on it the first time that I did, but all's well that ends well.
Have you ever been to? I love Darien Lake. Have you ever been? It's a much smaller venue. Have you ever been to Knoebels Grove?
Never heard of it.
No. Okay, so that's like, it's kind of like, I don't want to call it a gem because it's like sort of, it's right on the border between being a nice amusement park, a nice theme park, and then sort of like trashy and I don't know. I love the place. I love it to death. It has this one roller coaster. It has two very old wooden roller coasters that. I guess there are roller coaster savants out there. I guess that this is a profession where they'll get people that are like national critics on theme parks and amusement parks and roller coasters in particular will come and ride these one's called, I think one's the Phoenix, Flight of the Phoenix or something like that, and that one. You fear for your life every time you're on that. Like, the wood feels like it's going to give out from under you.
There were some like that where even closer to where I grew up. It was called Sea Breeze.
Yeah.
And there was a roller coaster that was fun, but as soon as you hit 20 years old and your body's not incredibly malleable, you realize that your back just hurts when you get off because it just throws you around like you're a rag doll.
Yeah, it's like even we have a local fireman's carnival. Like I've been finding that I went to the fireman's carnival pretty recently, and I remember going on rides that I absolutely loved when I was a kid. The ones that the ones that spin you and whip you around, and now the
tilt-a-whirl,
the octopus, the sidewinder, the twister, all those names that feel like they could describe like some pretty cool board games or some like party games.
I'm sure these people who are all here live with us were expecting to hear about comic books, and the first thing we dove into was
who cares?
Theme parks.
Well, that's like we talked about this, and we're happy to go off the rails a little bit. Or I am at least.
Is that a pun?
Anyway, so no, it's I do want to. Oh my god, I do want to talk about scary things real quick because speaking of Knoebels Grove, this masterwork of children's amusement had one of the most horrifying haunted house rides. It was like one where you just get strapped into the car and it kind of trundles through the mansion, and that place, I remember going on it when I was like 8 or 9, and some of the most chilling, blood-curdling jump scares and scenarios, and the whole thing was pitch black. Like, they would illuminate like the things they wanted you to see, and it was everything from approaching a chair, having it swivel around, and seeing a really terrifying, decaying granny skeleton, like wearing like a granny nightgown, all the way to like going, like slowing down in a hallway and then picking up a lot of speed, and then suddenly all these lights shining on a truck, on like a 16-wheeler about to hit you in a house. for some reason. I don't know. But that place, I can't do haunted houses anymore, which is crazy to me because I love the horror genre. I love horror movies. I love horror video games. I like telling scary stories. But haunted houses, it's something like haunted hay rides, that sort of thing. Never been able to do them.
Too
spoopy for me. 3 spoopy, 5 me. I love describing.
Too jumpy.
Yeah. Do you know the term spoopy?
I do not.
No. So it's
about
like
to find out though.
It's I think it was either Dollar Tree or the Dollar General or something like that. They put out their annual their disposable napkins, paper cups, paper plates, and it was supposed for Halloween themed parties, and they're supposed to say "Have a spooky Halloween," and they there was a misprint. And they said "Have a spoopy Halloween," and so it became for a good year, 2 years.
I paid damn good money for those napkins. Now I just look like a fool.
I expect my grammar to be top notch. This is Bush League. But
this is Book League.
Bupkus. This is I don't know. Spoopy is one of my favorite words now, though.
I've never been a fan of the jump scare because I feel like it's too easy.
It's cheap, yeah.
I like that slow thrill, the
slow burn, yeah.
Yeah, I like.
You got to build a sense of dread.
Yes, exactly. Dread is so much better than a jump scare.
I peruse Netflix and Amazon and Hulu all the time looking for like decent horror flicks or shows to kind of sink my teeth into. And it's a lot of them are very campy, very reliant on jump scares. That's something that I've noticed a lot about a lot of modern horror movies, especially American-made horror movies. If you want like some terrifying horror movies, watch like
some European,
watch some like French, Scandinavian, Japanese.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Japanese horror movies. I mean, have you seen The Ring and The Grudge?
Oh man, I think I have. Honestly, I've seen The Grudge. I don't really remember it all too well though.
Yeah.
I think I've seen The Ring.
It's the lady with like the hair and the
I remember like bits and pieces of it.
She would just make that noise and she was just like permanently haunting you. And then The Ring is Samara, you will die in 7 days.
Yeah, I mean I remember the premises. I remember little like bits and pieces, but I don't really remember the plot super well.
Actually, in terms of like. Both of those movies were originally Japanese horror movies that got American remakes, and I gotta say for an American remake, The Ring was a pretty excellent remake of Ringu, which if you've ever seen that in like the original Japanese, and it's so upsetting. It's like you won't feel good about things. Like that movie is truly good at like building a sense of dread,
There's a lot of movies that just don't translate quite right when Americans try and remake them. Like, for instance, Old Boy. Have you ever seen Old Boy?
No.
Oh man. Okay.
Is it bad?
No, it's amazing.
Oh.
It's okay. Now I'm gonna show some ignorance. It's Korean movie, actually. And it's not a horror movie, it's more of like a psychological thriller. The premise is this guy gets abducted for no apparent reason and held in a single room cell for like a decade.
Yeah.
And he kind of just goes crazy and then they let him out. And so I don't want to give away any more than that because it's too good, but they made an American remake of it which just never hit that same. It just didn't feel the same, when you watch the Korean version, it was intense, and I don't know, maybe it was because I had already seen the Korean version, so the twist at the end I knew was coming and it just felt a little bit contrived.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know. Was not as good.
Western cinema definitely has. They definitely try to do things samey. Like it's there's a distinct style, like there's a distinct formula that they, and sometimes you're right, it doesn't translate over well all the time. That people like people like that story structure, and people like a happy ending and stuff like that. And like I remember, this is one thing that I always get in arguments with my dad about is whenever we watch horror movies, he hates it when horror movies have bad endings, and I'm like, let's watch a rom-com or something. Like, well, let's watch a freaking Vin Diesel movie or something.
You know what I did recently?
Sorry to call you out, Vin Diesel. Love you, man.
You know what I did also recently watch was the Fullmetal Alchemist live action movie.
Oh God, don't talk to me about it.
Yeah, have you seen it?
It's atrocious.
It's really bad, and that the reason I bring it up is because in terms of translating, it's like they could have. The story's great. The story is actually really good, but the
it's got amazing source material.
Yeah, it's just not carried out well. It's like if you were gonna make a movie out of an anime, then just make a live action movie. Don't take people and pretend that they're anime characters. Like, give them real hair.
Oh my God.
Please, God, give them real hair. Please don't try and make them have anime expressions, because it just doesn't translate. It looks idiotic.
There is definitely a right and a wrong way to make a. I mean, don't get me started on M. Night Shyamalan's version of the Last Airbender, because I left the theater. That was one of the. I've left a theater twice in my life, and one was for Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I was so disgusted.
What was the other one?
You know what, viewers, you're just gonna have to stay tuned and you learn about me as we go, and maybe later in this podcast episode, maybe in a different podcast, I will tell you that tasty tidbit.
I vow to find out for all of us.
I'm a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
It was probably like an adult theater. And you finished and you were like, all right, I'm out.
I finished. I have completed. You're watching an adult film, you just yell out in the audience, I've completed. And it's like the least sexy term for it. You stand up and it's like, I'm done. You just like drop all the tissues you're holding. Sorry. Anyway, moving back.
Drop it. Hold it out like it's a mic drop.
Oh God, yeah. There's some disturbing imagery for you there, fellas. Nobody knows what I look like. We are voices on a screen. They're coming out of your microphone.
That's actually not true, because most of the people who have already heard any of these podcasts directly know.
They do. I had a couple. My mom found out, and she's like, send it to me. I'll email it to all my coworkers. And I'm like, yeah, you don't want to hear me. You don't want to hear me on this, like, swearing and carrying on and talking about just all this nerdy bullshit. Like, my parents, I try so hard to relate what I like. My dad and I got into a talk. He's very, very burnt out on Marvel right now. He is. I showed him the Infinity Wars trailer, and it did. Which was incredible. Like, we can talk about that in a second, but dude, I get goosebumps every time I think about it. I'm so excited. It's gonna be everybody on the internet is making memes about this phrase, but it's the most ambitious crossover of all time.
Yes.
But also, then somebody sent me, it's like, you know, it's the most ambitious crossover of all time. They just sent me a picture of like the Power Rangers shaking hands with the Ninja Turtles from like, an old '90s episode, and I was like, that's great. But yeah, he's burnt out on all of them. I finally managed to pique his interest back up because he loves the Guardians of the Galaxy. He doesn't really care for the Avengers that much. Like, he loves the Guardians, doesn't care for the Avengers. When he found out the two of them were teaming up, he's like, oh, this could be cool. But for the most part, like, we would see. I always felt kind of bad inside. But like, he would be flipping through channels, we'd be trying to find something to watch at night when I went home to visit him, and like Thor: The Dark World would come on, and he'd be like, seen it, and I'd be like, oh, I love that movie. And then he would flip. His like Ant-Man was on. He's like, again, and I'm like, oh, Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's another one of those. I think Paul Rudd's another one of those celebrities like Jennifer Aniston and Keanu Reeves that are just vampires. I think they just get better. They get better looking as they age.
Yeah, I would say that's true. I watched Mute. And Paul Rudd plays a really interesting character.
Paul Rudd's in Mute?
Yeah.
That new Netflix series?
Yeah, it's just a movie.
Oh, it's just a movie, okay.
But yes, he is in it.
How was it?
It was good. I felt like it tried a little bit... Okay, so I know that I'm going to sound pretentious saying this, but I feel like it was a little bit pretentious. I felt like there was a lot of things that were really good about it, but it kind of felt like a French thriller, but done by Americans who just like, it just wasn't quite natural. So I thought it was good. Was it like one of those I call it Fight Club syndrome, because I love Fight Club, but Fight Club's one of those movies where it's a clever movie, but the entire time it's kind of like, look how clever we are. Yeah.
You didn't see this coming.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of how it was. Yeah. And it was almost a little too dark to be enjoyable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I thought that there was a lot of things that they did right, but I can honestly say that I was never captivated by the movie. You know, I watched it all the way through, and I liked it, but I was never... I was not at any point was I all in. You know, I thought the acting was good.
Yeah.
And that you know, that held me, but
definitely.
But as I was sort of analyzing the plot as the movie was going.
Yeah.
I wasn't like... I was never sucked in. I never was enthralled by the characters. You know, because I mean, even if someone's a bad person, you want to be enthralled by that, or if they're a really, you know, whatever their character is, you want to be enthralled by it, no matter which direction it takes you. You know, you want to be captivated by that character. So I thought the acting was good, but what they gave those actors to work with as far as character development, I didn't think it was great. I didn't really feel like anybody learned a lesson. You know what I mean? I didn't really feel like there was genuine development. It was just really sad. It was kind of a messed up movie, honestly.
Yeah, this is like bringing us back to like, it has to have a happy ending.
Well, it doesn't have to have a happy ending. Like, you know, you can have a very poignant, sad ending to a movie if you have growth.
Yeah.
You know, I think I've spoken about this before, but...
Yeah, exactly. I actually, I completely agree. I think it's important to have movies out there where, like, you know what? I loved the movie. Did you see the movie Inside Out?
I have not.
Oh, I've absolutely loved it. It's kind of like with that. I got into a huge argument with one of my friends recently about that movie, and they're just like, it's a movie about a girl that's sad and tries to run away from home, and I'm like, no, but there's like so much more to it, because it talks about like, you got the emotions you got going on in your head, and it kind of, for the most of the movie, all of the characters, all of the other emotions are like, why is sadness here? What does she do? And then you realize that like sadness can provide like catharsis. It can provide like, sadness is a healing mechanism, and there's like multiple sides to every memory and every emotion and stuff like that. And I was like, that's really beautiful, because like you there's like, things aren't going to be like happy and joyful all the time. There's going to be times when like things aren't going your way, and that's growth.
But was it as good as the Emoji Movie?
So that's the second movie that I walked out on.
Yes,
middle of the
promised.
Movie. I had a friend drag me there, because they were like, dude, it's gonna be bad. I'm like, yeah, I know it's gonna be bad. It was like, but it's gonna be hilariously bad. And I'm like, I couldn't suffer through it. Like, it just, I was like, haha, man, this is really bad. And then it just got to the point where I'm like, I can't do it, man. Like, I'm burning brain cells right now. But like, I hate to talk shit on movies, like when it's creating a movie like that is something that's so far beyond my scope of like, but like I don't know, I feel like I could write a better script than that.
I'm sure you could.
With my very limited experience, I feel like that was just a cash grab. I was so excited with it, because like it was happening, and everybody groaned so much on the internet that they canceled the movie, and then it got revived.
Really?
Yeah. Like, everybody was like, stop. And they were like, fine, we'll stop. And then, like, a month later, they're like, just kidding, it's happening. And everybody was like, ah! I don't know. I respect T.J. Miller was in that. I think he played the meh emoji, like the main character.
I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Okay. Anyway.
I think that's a no-no for podcasting, to just shut down a subject like mid-sentence, but I'm walking out.
We're not your
walking out of the theater.
We're not your average stripped down bare bones podcast. Things get hot. We like to keep things on topic and focused at all times, which is
absolutely
the antithesis of this entire episode.
And since the primary focus of this was drinking bourbon, I think stick to that.
We're both super burnout right now, so I hope you're enjoying these. Or hope you enjoying these sleep deprived ramblings.
Yeah. So, my wife is out of town right now, and I used the first night opportunity to go out with some friends, and I didn't get crazy by any means, but I did operate on 3 hours of sleep and work for about 12 and a half hours today. So.
And you played babysitter last night, which was fun.
Yeah, I played babysitter to someone who didn't know that you're not supposed to mix every kind of alcohol there is.
He's a real gentleman right here, sitting next to me. He's a true gentleman and a scholar. Then he came over to my place and we played some Mortal Kombat.
Which is a terrible... Well, I don't want to say it's a terrible franchise, but that game I played...
MK9... so the games are kind of... All of the games are hilariously over the top, but it's like... It's so bad. And we were just laughing. We were like looking at all of the characters' skins. Like all of... And especially the female outfits. And we were like... It's like, well, time to fight for my life. Better put a bikini on.
Yeah, and, of course, they all have triple D breasts... exploding out of whatever bikini and mask they're wearing.
It just make them aerodynamic.
Oh, yeah, I see.
That's
so
how that works.
I get it. Now it makes sense.
I would know because I have triple D breasts. And I fly through the air with them. And they actually help me steer. Anyway, but that game it's really fun to play. There's no.
It's fun to bullshit because honestly, I wouldn't get any genuine satisfaction out of it. I mean, it's very poorly constructed. I mean, at least I felt that way. There are characters who have somewhat unbeatable.
Oh yeah, smoke.
Yeah, like some seriously kind of unbeatable power sets.
Just teleport the entire game and everything's fine. Yeah, there's a character. Well, I love the game. I loved the game when it came out because it had Freddy Krueger in it, and I love Nightmare on Elm Street, and it had Kratos from God of War in it, and I love those games. So that's all I needed.
That's such a cop out for fighting games. Like when they put Darth Vader in it, it's like fuck you. This has nothing to do with Star Wars.
Oh, but they do.
Am I really? Are you really gonna get $50 out of all these children's parents just because Darth Vader's in the next?
That's why when it comes to fight, yeah, right. Well, no, the guy from what's his name? The guy from The Witcher is going to be in the new Soul Calibur. Ezio Auditore de Firenze, one of the Assassin's Creed characters, was in one of the Soul Caliburs. I remember that being like a huge big deal. Link was in one of them from Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, he was in the same one as Darth Vader. It's just he was,
just
it was in the GameCube release though.
Yeah.
Versus the whatever else.
Like he's just like Darth Vader's like trying to convince him to come over to the dark side, and he's like come over to the dark side, embrace your anger, and then just like hey yeah. And Darth Vader's like, do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, okay. He just cuts him in half. I don't know. Where do you think? Let's do a quick.
Like, at what point does a lightsaber match up with
the Master Sword?
An epee?
No, it's like Kid Link, and so he's fighting with a boomerang. He just throws a boomerang at Darth Vader. Darth Vader just like brushes it aside with the Force and just slices him in twain.
This is a complete cash grab because I believe it came out around the same time as Revenge of the Sith.
It's definitely a cash grab. But you know what, they can't.
On to you, Soul Calibur.
It can be fun. Have you played the Injustice games? They're made by NetherRealms.
I think we've talked about the fact that I haven't played very many video games in like a decade, which is why I'm referencing a Soul Calibur game that came out in probably 2006.
Yeah.
Or I don't even know. It might have been earlier than that.
Right. NetherRealm Studios makes all the Mortal Kombat games. They also make all of the Injustice games, which is basically Mortal Kombat but with a DC skin. So it's that's simplifying it a bit too much. The fighting scheme is definitely significantly different.
I know that Injustice is a pretty popular game.
It's I remember I loved the first one. I was Flash was my boy in the first one. You play as Batman and all those guys, and then they released Martian Manhunter as DLC, and he was one of my favorite characters in the DC universe. And I jumped for that DLC immediately because I'm a consumer whore. And then Injustice 2 came out, and their DLC characters were the Red Hood, who is do you know who the Red Hood is?
No.
Dude, we're watching Under the Red Hood.
Okay.
Doesn't
just to throw this out there, and maybe it's off kilter, but in reality, aren't we not consumer whores because we're the ones paying? so
I mean,
isn't mass media the prostitute and we're just all the paying Joes?
Sure.
I feel like
we definitely there is where there's a demand, there will always be a supply, and like it's I'm shameless. I'm a nerd whenever I see a crossover or a collaboration. I'm like, just take my fucking money already. Like, I can't help it. Like, I go to a store and I'm like, I'm not gonna buy anything. I'm gonna try to keep it under $20 if I'm gonna buy something. And I'm like, oh, there's a minifigure of one of my favorite video game characters shaking hands with President Truman, and I'm just gonna buy that. Why Truman? I don't know. Maybe it's the timely thing, but But Injustice 2 just released DLC. All 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles entered the fight in Injustice 2.
And I do love me some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And I haven't bought the game yet, because I wait for all the DLC to be released, then they're going to create, like, the ultimate package. They're going to be like, Injustice 2 Gold Edition, or something like that. And then, because, like, with that and with, like, competitive shooters and stuff like that, those games are really popular for, like, a short period of time, because they're in for that period of time. That's when, like, their big... the big fan base is there, like the online presence is there. There are people to play against, people to fight. I've always been a huge fan of couch co-op. The beat 'em ups are perfect for co-op. So I'm just gonna wait until Injustice is like $17, which it will be. Give it a couple months, promise you. Because that's always what happens. Like I looked at the Mortal Kombat, which was like the hottest shit when it came out, and it was $60. And I saw it's on a deal on PlayStation Network for now like $6 or something like that.
So listen up, parents. Tell your kids to piss off. Wait a few months.
Yeah.
Because they're not worth it.
That new Call of Duty that's coming out, yeah, man. It's just give it about 4 months.
Yeah, and tell them if you wait and all your friends have moved on to the next one, you'll be the best at this one that we bought you after nobody plays.
Yeah, exactly. Although there are exceptions to that. I mean, Team Fortress 2 has been going strong for years. Maybe not as strong as it was, but it's still going strong. And Overwatch is just gaining momentum. Do you know anything about what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Cool. Anyway, what were we talking about? We were talking about theme parks and then horror and then other things. Oh no. Pick a topic. What are we talking about now? Let's go back to horror, actually. Because we were talking about, like... it just gave me such a look of, like, yeah, I guess this is the Tracey show now.
I shot the audience a look. I looked straight at the computer screen as if it was an audience. I gave them, like, a knowing look.
Like from The Office.
Yeah.
Like,
I looked straight at the camera, which is not on.
Yeah. How's it going? All my FBI agents checking in on me. He's a good guy. I hope his kid's doing well. He's in 3rd grade now. We keep in close touch.
You in his 3rd grade job?
No, the FBI agent. He told, never mind, stop. And now I'm uncomfortable. But yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah, I know. We're going down rabbit holes. Let's have another drink.
All right, sounds good. Cheers. Ooh, look at that spike.
That was a good one. Good spike.
I hope y'all's ears are feeling good after that one. Y'all from my mom's half of my family is from the Carolinas primarily.
I never said y'all before I moved to Key West. Now I say it all the time.
My grandparents just have that very kitty.
Time to let the kitty cat inside.
Oh, it's kitty. Yeah, they have very charming Southern accents,
Kira.
and so y'all,
Where
Kira,
have you been?
hello. They have very charming Southern accents, and so y'all and what are y'all up to? Hey, Shug. Like, oh, I love Shug. Oh, Shug makes me very happy, actually.
Well, it shouldn't.
Go fuck yourself. I'm sorry.
I am the one who's sorry for that.
That is
terrible.
You're gonna
joke.
make a great dad.
Yeah. I was told that my sarcasm is not great, and I need to work on just focusing on dad jokes. I was actually told that. So.
Oh god, if you do like the "hi hungry I'm dad" stuff, I'm gonna punch you. But it's and then
blame it on the.
Blame it on the
alcohol. Oh Jesus!
What's wrong with us? So south it's y'all, and then in Pittsburgh it's yins. What are yins up to tonight? And that never like I've
fucking pretentious Pittsburghians.
Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh. Philadelphia. I'm sorry if you're from Philadelphia. Philadelphia has not been a pleasant time for me. The last several times I've gone there, it's I'm never.
You're not tough enough.
I'm not tough enough. I just I don't. Yeah, I just haven't had.
You're not Philly tough.
Fuck yeah. I haven't had pleasant experience the last couple times I've gone to Philly. It's just the smell, the traffic, the feel. Pittsburgh is having a little bit of a renaissance. It feels like for the last couple of years. I've had friends living up there, and seems like there's always things that they're doing and always things to talk about that are going on in Pittsburgh. It seems like a cool place. It's like becoming pretty culturally charged, and I like it. But yeah, I throw down with my friend because she says yins, and I'm like, no, it's you guys or y'all, and she's like, no, it's yins. The same thing with soda and calling soda pop. I'm gonna get a can of pop, and I'm like, get out of my sight. There's this
pop, just so childish. I want some pop.
Childish Gambino. I love Donald Glover. Is it? No,
yeah.
Donald Glover.
Yeah, Donald.
No, he's from. Am I thinking of the guy from Lethal Weapon?
No, that's Danny Glover.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And they're not related. And I want to say one thing real quick. I overheard a gentleman at my work, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, trying to sound very knowledgeable about movies, and he was talking about how Donald Glover was in the new Han Solo movie, the son of Danny Glover.
Oh, yeah, son of Danny Glover.
Yeah, he was telling everyone all the stuff he knew about movies.
I'm not gonna rip on him because that seems like something I would very easily misunderstand or not know about.
Why? Just because we can edit that out.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. We're gonna edit that out.
Give it like a 5-second beat and then start talking again.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so I completely changing the subject again. I had a really good day at work yesterday because we had I've been doing a lot of volunteer work. I haven't been getting much compensation for my work down here in Key West, but
just emotional compensation.
Honestly, that's what this was. It was we had a school group of about 50 kids come in, and it was I don't know, man. Like I just I love conveying information to people in a way that like they can understand. I don't think I think the term Explain it to me like I'm 10 years old. I don't think that's a negative. I don't think it's necessarily a negative thing. Like, I think being able to, not every topic, particularly in the scientific field, is easy to discuss and easy to relate to people that don't know much about science. But I feel like there's a nice medium there where you can explain something to somebody relatively simplistically, and there's I know a lot of people that I start talking about to them about what I do with marine bio and marine ecology, and they kind of zone out after a couple seconds. They're like, "Oh yeah, those are science words." So I try to make anything that I talk about super accessible to people, because I want people to get jazzed about what I'm doing. I want people to understand it. I want people to get I want people to get passionate about it, basically. And so I had this sort of catharsis at the when the school troop came in, and I was wandering around, and they were really awesome, inquisitive kids, and they wanted to know a lot about what we were doing at the facility, and what issues there were with the planet. And I had like an awesome 5-minute discussion with some 10-year-old about invasive species and nutrient pollution and stuff like that. And I got to explain to a bunch of third graders what coral was and how it operated, because you'd be amazed how many people don't really know what coral is. Like, they come in and it's like, "Oh yeah, isn't that a rock?" And I'm like, "No."
I thought it was a color.
Coral blue number 5. It's like, because it's an animal. It's actually
An aminal.
It's the aminal. It's from the Animalia kingdom. It's in the same phylum as sea anemones and as jellyfish. And most hard corals, like calcifying corals, they build their own limestone skeleton in the special matrix between their actual tissue and the limestone itself. And they also have a symbiotic relationship with algae, which gives them their color, because a coral's natural color is pretty clear. Like, it's see-through, and Kira's messing with my backpack.
She's all up in everything.
She's exploring, because she's an inquisitive cat. Like we all should be. We should all be inquisitive cats. Never stop asking questions, you beautiful, beautiful listeners. There's always something to learn. I'm going to stop talking about this, because I feel like I'm putting Max to sleep. And I hope I'm not putting anybody else to sleep, but basically, corals are pretty fucking cool, and you should care about them and care about our environment, and don't litter, and stand up straight when I'm talking to you, and eat lots of carrots are good for your eyesight.
Remember to take notes.
Take notes.
3 times over.
We care about you, beautiful people out there, and we got to think of a name. I want to have like a clever name for our listeners. Is that pretentious of me?
No, you can come up with a name if you want. I was comfortable with calling them something different every time.
Yeah, bitches and bastards. I remember that one episode.
Beaches and bastards.
Beaches. All you sexy beaches out there. Get the white sandy beaches. Speaking of which, I was in Mexico recently. I went to Cozumel for about a week, and went diving. That was amazing. I needed a break. I got my nitrox certification, so I can breathe that sweet enriched air, 32 to 36%. Hell yes. Stay down longer, come back up more refreshed. I feel like I should be writing an advertisement. Well, it's like normally the air we breathe is like 20% and 21% oxygen. And
that is low-class air.
That is low-class air. I only allow my lungs the finest air. It's just like...
enriched mineral air.
Diet air, if you please. I require it. And my friends used to do that. They'd go to like drive-thrus, and they would order diet water. and see how long it took.
Wow, that's the most original adolescent
It's backwoods
thing I've
Pennsylvania.
Ever heard.
Fuck you. We didn't have a lot to do. I remember one of my friends hung out in the trunk, and we would drive by, and we would come to an intersection, and we would kind of like on the back seat to let the person in the trunk know that there were people around. And they would start banging on the hood of the trunk and pretending like we were kidnapping them, and that was probably, in hindsight, a terrible thing to do. But you get bored in Pennsylvania, and you get. I had friends that would go possum smashing. That's a thing that I never participated in and never wanted to fucking know about. Where they would go basically spotlighting for possums, and when you startle an opossum, it plays dead, and they would just beat to death with a bat. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Well,
anyway.
Should we end the podcast on that?
No, I really
think... You are a pretentious,
really think
depressing ending.
I really think we shouldn't. Don't smash possums, kids.
So, you know what? We should talk about... you were talking about symbiotic coral. And that made me think about some comic book news that I heard. That
Venom
may or may not be true.
Venom.
But that Venom's only going to be in the movie for like 5 to 10 minutes.
What?
Yeah. It's going to be all Tom Hardy and very, very little Venom.
Is it like one of those things where like he paid to have FaceTime and he's going to get his FaceTime, damn it?
No. I think it's one of those things where like making this movie was just a bad idea.
Oh.
And so, I mean, there's a lot of speculation out there. Some of it is that Sony is very hesitant about this movie and they didn't think it would do well, so they kept the budget very low. And so the CGI, they couldn't afford to do a lot of it, and they're like, Tom Hardy is one of the biggest names out there, so if people look at him the whole movie, they'll be fine with it. But not us comic book fans. We want to see Venom. So
that really upsets me. Venom is one of my favorite characters.
So what I kind of think is probably going to happen is, if this is true, which it might not be, they will do some screenings and it will get really poor reviews, and so then they'll do reshoots and sink a bunch more money into it to get more Venom screen time. And
so the release date's definitely getting pushed back.
Probably, yes. Probably. But beyond that, I can't speculate. But we should definitely talk about the Avengers Infinity War trailer, which we referenced but didn't delve into.
I am so stoked. I saw at 2 separate points in the trailer. I mean, there was earlier on in the trailer, when you first see one of Thanos' early appearances in the trailer, you see that he has the Space Stone in the gauntlet, because I think they made it pretty obvious in Thor Ragnarok, and they made it pretty obvious in the trailer that Loki probably presented the Tesseract to him as a peace offering. So he has that in his possession. Later on in the video, that iconic scene of Captain America holding off the Infinity Gauntlet as he like tries to aggressively push Captain. I don't know what he was really doing there, but he had the Space Stone, and is it the Power Stone, the purple one? Let
me just come in from the other room. I don't think I can pretend that I was here yelling from the other room. Yeah, the purple stone is the Power Stone.
Yeah, so he must have invaded the Nova Corps.
Right. So what I think is that the intro to the movie is going to be, the reason they are calling it a heist movie is because I think that the first intro scene is going to be a genuine infiltration heist of the Nova Corps to get the Power Stone. I think that's the first one he gets.
Do you think Thanos is going to make a big show of getting it himself, or do you think he's going to send in the Black Order?
I think that we're going to see a really cool scene where he goes to get it, but like all the things that the Black Order do allow him access. You know what I mean? So
like they'll take it down, and then he kind of swaggers in at the end and like takes it.
Yeah, I think that that they infiltrate and get him the stone, and then once he has it, he has the power to destroy a planet, which I kind of think might happen.
But aren't they making a Nova Corps movie?
Well, that's just speculation.
Oh, okay.
There's no commitment on that. But here's the thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, interweb, but
interwebs.
I believe that the power of the Nova Corps is divided amongst every Nova Corpsman. So the more there are, the less powerful each is. The fewer there are, the more powerful each is.
Really?
I do believe so. So if there's only one person in the Nova Corps, he is
he
on
has
the superhuman level.
He has like the collective power of every individual.
I believe so. Now
really?
I really could be wrong about that, but that's what I thought.
That would be a really cool concept.
Because I think that's the intro. I mean, I feel like that's going to be the intro to the Nova Corps movie, and that's why, because the Nova Corps people, they weren't super powered. I mean, when we saw them in Guardians of the Galaxy, they were basically policemen.
They're fighter pilots.
But I think that he's going to destroy the Nova Corps, and in some way, shape, or form, there's only going to be one or a couple of them left, which is what grants them the super powers that makes them worthy of their own film.
Okay.
So, I don't know how exactly they're going to get to that, but that's kind of what I think. Okay.
I can see that. That'd be something. I know nothing about the Nova Corps, honestly. Like, I loved Guardians so much that I started looking into the kind of extraterrestrial Marvel universe a little bit more after that, but I still am far more familiar with the sea heroes that are tooling around New York City. But
yeah, I liked when Earth-based characters went cosmic, but I was not a huge cosmic character follower.
It's tough to make them relatable. I feel like if we have a tally of like the number of words that that we use most frequently, I think relatable would be up there in like top 5.
Yeah, probably. But that's kind of what storytelling is all about. If you don't relate to a character, then why do you care about them?
It's true. Yeah, I think that would be a very cool opening scene, though. Like to see that sort of heist of the Nova Corps. Like just have a kind of cold open of just seeing, because I feel like besides stories that we've heard through Gamora and from hints and from just knowing that he's the guy in the chair, like he's the big guy. You see him in 2012, and he's the guy in the chair. He's like. You're a petulant young child, and fine, I'll do it myself. Mm-hmm. That sort of thing with Thanos. Like I'm worried that I really hope they do him justice as a villain. Basically,
I feel like they are, based on everything that I've seen. I think they will. So I think that the intro to the movie is the heist on the Nova Corps. He gets the Power Stone, and then he just mows through them all. I think that the first scene is going to be pseudo Ocean's 11, with each different Black Order member kind of doing something that achieves the acquisition of the Power Stone. Okay. And then Thanos is the one who actually gets to take it. He walks in with the gauntlet, puts it on the gauntlet, and just mows some people down. And then I think that...
Do you think at this point he'll have the Space Stone?
No. Because I think he starts with the Power Stone.
But you see his gauntlet, he has just the Space Stone on it.
No.
Like in the very beginning, you just see the Blue Stone, right?
No. He has both. The purple is the first stone, first one in the knuckle, and there's actually a scene in the trailer where he's putting the Space Stone into the gauntlet, and the Power Stone's already there.
Oh, okay, maybe I missed that.
So, but I think then he goes and he catches up with the Asgardian ship, and he you can even see a lot of dead bodies in the trailer.
I was wondering about that. Like, I saw the Black Order standing there amongst a lot of carnage, and I'm wondering, did he wipe out the Asgardian
I think
race?
that he puts the smack down, to use a really outdated reference, on the Asgardians, and I think that Loki uses the Tesseract to teleport Hulk into Earth's atmosphere, which is how he goes and crashes into the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Do you think that Loki's going to present him with the Power Stone, or the Space Stone, and then immediately regret his actions?
No, because I think that he has no other choice. I think that Loki is aware that it's a bad idea to do that, and that's why he sends Hulk to Earth. Because he knows that it's the only chance.
They're going to need him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think he thinks it's a bad idea. But I think that he gives the stone, or gives the Tesseract to Thanos to preserve his standing.
Right.
And now I'll do a little, I don't know. So, I've read the Infinity Gauntlet storyline.
I started looking into it because you recommended it, and yeah, it's from all of what the directors and producers have been talking about. We're gonna see some hero losses in the Infinity Wars.
But in the comic, one of the early scenes is Silver Surfer crashing through the roof of the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Mm-hmm.
And so the scene where Hulk crashes through is
echoing that.
It's like it's taken straight from the comics. It's just they swapped the character.
Yeah.
And then Doctor Strange proceeds to go into the Silver Surfer's mind and figure out why he's there, because the Silver Surfer is so distraught that he's actually like psychologically unable to deal with what's around him. He kind of goes into a psychosis.
Wow.
And so Doctor Strange goes into his mind and helps him find the reason for it. I feel like they're going to echo that by having Bruce Banner wake up, have no memory of what happened when he was the Hulk on the spaceship. And then, so when Doctor Strange helps him remember, that's how they find out that Thanos is coming. So I feel like they're going to mirror that scene. And
then that's going to be how, because there was some fancy trailer editing, because it seemed like it was Gamora telling the story at the time, but then you see Tony Stark being like, tell me his name again. But if you look at the difference in the backgrounds, he's definitely in the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah, he definitely is.
So yeah,
and so after Doctor Strange goes into Bruce Banner's mind and gets the Hulk memories, they call Tony Stark.
Yeah.
But on the ship, Thanos mows through everybody and somehow Thor survives. But here's what I think. You know how Thor is he's supposedly building a new hammer? Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's building the new hammer, but here's what I think. I think that Heimdall has the Soul Stone, and he gives it to Thor, and Thor uses the Soul Stone to craft the new hammer. Otherwise, why bother?
I love your theory on Heimdall having the Soul Stone, because everybody is like, Wakanda secretly has it, and I'm like, I feel like they would have hinted at it at least, like, sort of in the Black Panther movie.
I feel like they would not have given Heimdall such a significant role in Ragnarok and made him end up on... I mean, there's so many things to me that point to Heimdall having the Soul Stone.
I agree with you. Well, you kind of blew my mind the other night. Like one of our last podcasts when you were talking about it, and I was like, wow, that makes so much sense.
Because, like I said, I watched Thor Ragnarok again, and in that, he still has the ability to see every soul in the universe, even without the Bifrost. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah. So even without the sword of Bifrost, and I feel like they're so on top of their shit, they wouldn't make a point to
show that kind of power.
Exactly.
That kind of
so
display power.
Asgardian, the average Asgardian cannot do that. So I feel like it's because he has the Soul Stone. He has the golden eyes, the whole deal. So I think that no one knows that Heimdall has the Soul Stone. But after Thanos, Heimdall gives Thor the Soul Stone to make a weapon out of it. Because why else would Thor build a new weapon? Like, he doesn't need it.
Yeah, he's the God of Thunder.
Yeah, he's the God of Thunder. He
all you need to do is play a little immigrant song, and he just goes to fucking town.
So I just don't think that there's any logical reason for him to build a new hammer. I mean, yeah, as a fan, everybody loves the idea, but in universe, why bother? So I feel like that's gonna be the thing, is that they're gonna build a weapon out of the Soul Stone, and then Thanos is gonna come to Earth. Well, then he's gonna go.
Well, they've already shown they've already shown his ship crash landing into Earth in the trailer. So yeah.
But I think that he's gonna go to nowhere to try and get the Reality Stone.
That's the one from Dark World.
Yeah.
That's the Ether.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't know where that ended up. I kind of Thor: The Dark World. The first time I saw it, I was very tired. And I need to watch it again. I don't actually know where the Reality Stone comes into play at all.
Well, the Reality Stone is the Ether.
Yeah.
And in a post-credit scene, they Lady Sif, or Lady Sif, whatever her name is, and Volstagg, who's one of the Warriors 3 with the big red beard, they actually take the Aether to the Collector in the post-credit scene.
Oh, that's right.
And they say...
You explained this to me at some point, I just forgot.
And he says, why are you giving it to me? And he said, better not to have 2 Infinity Stones in one place. So they give it to him. And so I think that somehow Loki, because of the Asgardian connection, I think somehow Loki knows. Or someone on the ship or something.
I feel like the concealing the presence of an Infinity Stone might be somewhat difficult.
Right. So I think that Thanos will find out that it's there and he'll go there. And I think that when Thor runs into the Guardians of the Galaxy, he tells them where it is, so they go there. Mm-hmm. And then I think that, I don't know if Thanos specifically goes to New York City or just the Black Order.
I'm kind of terrified of the Black Order showing up because they've already shown some pretty that scene where Doctor Strange is getting tortured by
Ebony Maw.
Ebony Maw, yeah, I'm kind of because you said Infinity Wars is happening in 2 parts, correct?
Well, they originally called it Infinity War Part 1 and Infinity War Part 2, but now they're saying that it's a different title. So what I think is that this one is Infinity War, and the next one is going to be called Infinity Gauntlet, Avengers Infinity Gauntlet. And It's actually going to mirror the Infinity Gauntlet storyline closer, because the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, Thanos has all 6 Infinity Stones already in the comics.
Well, yeah, and he straight up backhands Captain America to death.
Yeah. So in that storyline, he already has the entire... he has all the Infinity Stones, he's already omnipotent, he's already all-powerful, and in the Infinity War, he doesn't have them yet.
Yeah.
So I think that what's going to happen is he's going to collect them all, and then Infinity Gauntlet is going to be the title of the 4th movie, and it's going to be the Avengers fighting him in much the same vein that in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, they fight him when he has all Infinity Stones.
Yeah, yeah.
So then I think basically what it looks like is that the red washed sandy planet looking thing, I think that's Titan.
Okay.
I think people are thinking that.
Yeah.
and which is Thanos' homeworld.
Right.
And somehow some of the Avengers get there, and some of the Guardians of the Galaxy get there. And then I'm sure they've done some CGI so that the final Wakanda scene, he probably actually has more Infinity Stones in the gauntlet, but they still only show you the first two. Because they don't want to give away what order that he gets them in. And
right.
So...
Some heavy stuff, man.
It is.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because I'm still expecting it to happen in kind of like, I think there are gonna be two. I think there are definitely gonna be two parts to this. I don't think that Thanos is gonna go down in just this movie. I think they have. They have a lot of plan. They have a lot planned for him. It's
public knowledge that Thanos is in Avengers 4, so it's not like they're gonna put in another villain.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the guy.
How do you where do you top him? Like Galactus, maybe.
Yeah, but they don't have the rights to him yet.
Yeah, exactly. So, I've been delving the internet for the speculations on who's gonna kick the bucket, because I feel like the Infinity War, we're gonna suffer heavy losses on the good guy side.
I think that Captain America is gonna bite it.
That's what I think too.
Because they're setting up Bucky Barnes to be the next Captain America.
Yeah.
And so they can keep making Captain America movies without recasting, and it's going to fit the plot, you know?
Yeah.
So they don't have to recast, they can still make Captain America movies, make a shit ton of money. I don't know who else they're going to let go, though. I feel like they might let Vision go. I feel like they're gonna let him go, because
he's got a stone in his forehead. Like I think that's kind of inevitable.
Plus, he's not a super major Avenger. You know, like he's not one of the big time ones. So I feel like
he's a very strange character.
Yeah, and he's very cool, but I think that he is not a super relatable character. So I think that...
I love all the stuff they do with him phasing through walls, and like them just joking about him. Like...
I mean, they use him in some really great ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the reveal of Vision in Age of Ultron was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought the way they used him in Civil War was awesome. And I believe that the way that they're going to use him in Infinity War is going to be awesome, but I feel like...
He's going to go out heroically.
I feel like it's going to be his end, because it's Vision, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's just not a big time Avenger.
I know, which is crazy, because he's basically an vibranium skeleton, being controlled by an Infinity Stone, and one of the most powerful AI computers, or one of the some of the most powerful AI software ever created. So it's I'm always gonna do that. I'm always gonna say animanium before I say vibranium, because I can't get my universes straight.
Well, it's the same universe.
I know it is, but like cinematically, I started rereading the comic of Days of Future Past, because I love, like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Wolverine, but I feel like the cinematic X-Men universe is just very oversaturated with Wolverine. I say that, and I immediately eat my words, because I thought Logan was brilliant. I loved Logan. I can't stress enough how much
it's only oversaturated because of all the bad things they've done with the character in his solo movies.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if they were all great, no one would think it was oversaturated.
What did you think of The Wolverine?
I thought it was okay.
I still can't decide what I think about it. Like, I remember watching it the first time, and I was like, I don't really like this movie.
Yeah, I watched it again.
I didn't really like it. I watched it the second time, and I was like, this movie's pretty awesome. And I'm so wishy-washy on it. I can't decide if I love it or I hate it. But I'm very depressed that Kitty Pryde didn't get her day in the Days of Future Past movie, because in the comic, she was the one that got sent back, and not Wolverine. And I thought that was a pretty gross oversight. And I was like, I get it. He's the golden boy. But Kitty Pryde is an amazing character. I love her so much. And I would have loved that movie just as well if they had sent her back instead. But anyway, I digress. I did love the one scene during the Infinity War trailer, where it was kind of a continuation from the original one, where you see because they haven't really specified that Spider-Man has a spidey sense, but they've sort of confirmed it, but they're not doing it as like, my spider sense is tingling. It's more like his intuition or his like instincts. Like, they don't make as big a deal about it. Mm-hmm. It's like, my spidey sense. Him in the bus and his hair goes on end, and his arm hairs go on end, and I thought that was a very awesome Spider-Man moment that you kind of see in the comics a lot, where he doesn't put on his full costume, where he just pulls the mask on, and I'm like, yeah, that's I don't know, it's just a very Spider-Man moment where he swings under the bridge just
well, it's realistic. It's like, not everyone's a billionaire and can have a suit build itself on them. The average high schooler, like, changing into a superhero costume is a difficult thing to do.
Exactly. Well, you see that scene where Tony's feet fuse into that one giant rocket, and so he's obviously got the suit that has like the nanotech in it, where it can like basically change to his whims.
So what's something I totally missed? I completely missed. In Age of Ultron, what happened to all the vibranium that was in in Sokovia? You know how he built? Yeah. So guess who has all that? Damage control. Tony Stark. He has all that vibranium. Whoa. So he's building suits out of vibranium. And I bet that his suit is built out of vibranium. I bet the Iron Spider suit is built out of vibranium.
When I saw that, I was so excited. Do you think it's going to be like the actual Iron Spider? Do you think it's going to have like the things in the back?
He's going to have the things.
Oh, this is going to be so cool. I love the Iron Spider suit. Yeah, I just got so many, all the goosebumps when I think about that trailer. I watched that trailer probably 10 times in a row when it came out first.
It's so good. I mean,
showed it to everybody.
Funny, it's intense. It strikes all the chords. I mean, I love that interaction between Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Star-Lord and Tony.
Yeah.
My friend Kat and she and I were like one of the first things I remember when we found out that there was going to be the crossover. We were like, Tony Stark and Rocket Raccoon. When Tony Stark and Rocket Raccoon meet, like the universe is going to like rip itself in half. Just the two of them bullshitting with each other, I think, is going to be.
And the same with Star-Lord, because all the other Avengers kind of understand that Tony Stark's ego is so big that like you kind of have to just roll with it, and like you can make a little joke about it, but you just roll with it.
And it's the same. That Star-Lord's the same character.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be like Star-Lord is not going to be able to deal with. They're going to just be like, what?
But yeah, like he's Tony's like I'm the billionaire playboy philanthropist, and then Star-Lord's kind of like.
I'm an outlaw space pirate.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like, I'm Star-Lord. I'm out. Yeah, like he's got like the kind of cowboy swagger to him, and he's like, yeah, I make the decisions, I make the meaningful speeches before we go like risk our lives, and I'm like, oh man, yeah, the Guardians being in the Infinity Wars is just making my life.
I know. I'm very excited. Yeah. I'm so excited. And the movie's going to be over 2.5 hours long.
That's crazy.
I know, and it's amazing. If it was 4 hours, I would not complain.
No.
Isn't that weird?
Like, it's like one in the instance, like, because I feel like once you get to the 3 hour mark, it's a little much for a movie, but this movie can go on as long as it freaking
If this movie was 2 hours or 4 hours and it had an intermission at the 2 hour mark, that I would roll with that so happily.
Yeah.
So happily.
I mean, they've got to have the money to do something like that.
That's what they did. It's a year-long intermission.
No, don't say that. Oh, my heart. Well, it's like, that's the thing is I'm thinking too with the Marvel, the MCU movies, and with like other things, like I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, and just and trying to get across the hype, trying to get people that have never waited the years in between the movies and the fucking seasons to happen, trying to convey to them the sense of hype that you had when that stuff came out. Like, it just doesn't do, unless you actually, like, are showing it to a friend and you make them wait the 2 years in between the movies that you want to show them. And I don't think I would have the constitution to, like, keep that up. It seems a little mean to me, but...
All right. So it's starting to get late. I'm starting to get very tired.
Yeah.
I think that it's time to wrap up this rando cast.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. If you're out there listening to us, our very sleepy rambles, and can't tell you how much it means to us. So all of you guys, stay safe out there. Have a good night. Watch that amazing Infinity War trailer again.
I'm going to give every single live person in our audience a good night kiss.
Aw. Aw. I'm hopefully going to get a real life kiss after this podcast is over, and I go back to my place, and I'm probably going to eat a taco and go to bed.
Yeah, I need to eat something too.
Yeah. All right. Sweet dreams, all you beautiful people out there, and praise Xenu.
Bye.